What is going on, YouTube? Woods versus Wild. Out here today on Good Friday, and I am looking around for nice flat rocks, and I came across this little vernal pool, and I was like, ooh, I haven't seen a vernal pool with anything in it since last year. So, of course, instead of sticking with the landscape rocks that I need, I'm like, ooh. So I hopped over to said vernal pool, and I found in here, how's this gonna work on camera? Where's my finger? Okay, in here, we're good. I found eggs. Now I need to go back to the car to get a bucket, or maybe I can find some garbage that's out here that I can use as a bucket that I can properly recycle, because you guys know how I feel about people who pollute the wilderness. I got a boot with your name on it, and I'll stick it straight up your ass. Let's just keep looking. So what we're going to do is look for some garbage that we can use as a container to come back to this pool here. And of course, I'm looking for something that's going to hold water, and I can't really find anything. That might be something back in there, but we're just going to run back to the car. So anyway, out here looking for landscaping stones. I got 2 more that I need on my front yard to complete it. And wouldn't you know, I'm having a hard time. Anybody needs a railing, we got one of those. I got some PVC. Got a bottle. Like, who does this? Why would you do this? I just don't understand it. Okay. A lot of bottles, but we don't want any bottles. We want a bucket, which I don't see any of. Whoa! Okay. Alright, so garbage as far as the eye can see. Oh my god, one of Pennsylvania's famous potholes. Ugh! Okay. Another one. So now we are gonna walk here to the car. You don't need to see what I drive. So we're here at the car now. I know this is a little slow. You guys are like, okay, Dave, what the hell? Hang tight, it's gonna get better, I promise. I always deliver. Even on the not so fun videos, I always deliver. There we go. I can't seem for the life of me to keep my camera pointed where I need to today. I'm struggling. It's because I got 101 things on my mind. I'm gonna go see the new Super Mario movie today. That's gonna be fun. So now we are headed back into the wilderness. Jump over the guardrail. Is it a guide rail or a guardrail? I have people say it's a guide rail because it guides you back onto the road. I call it a guardrail because it guards you from falling or going off the road. Kind of like bumper cars. Guess it really doesn't matter, huh? But anyway, guys, so this vernal pool, right? Toads are out, salamanders are out, frogs are out, everything's out. And, well, just like with any part of nature, you don't want to take all of it, because that would just be very counterproductive. So you just want to take a little bit. If you're taking anything, you want to take just what you need. And, you know, this here is for the sake of conservation. Not that any of the species that I'm targeting today are of any, you know, threatened status or anything like that. But so we're gonna shake that around, clean that off, dump out the icky water. We'll fill this up a little bit. There we go. We don't need much. Brought the net just in case. Now let's take a look here, right? So this is a gelatinous egg mass here. There's really nothing in that one except one egg that didn't make it. So, looking for another one. Here's another one. Look at that. Look how cool that is. If you look again, that one does not appear to have made it. But right there, guys, those are all toad eggs, I believe. They look like toad eggs anyway. So we're gonna keep, I don't have any water shoes on right now, so, you know, see if we can find any in and along here. Look how weird these are. These are weird. I've never seen any like this, where they're just individual globs. But they don't look like they've actually amounted to anything. They look, I'm gonna throw them out a little farther so once this dries up. Okay, so guys, look at this. I'm gonna use this as a teaching lesson here. You get a stick. So I've seen this twice this year already, unfortunately, but it is a risk that they take when they come out here. Right here. As disgusting as that looks, that was the remains, I believe, of a yellow spotted salamander. Unfortunately, like I said, it didn't make it. A lot of times they come out here early ice and they go into a hole. They are unable to find their way out of that hole and they don't make it. Sad face. They drown. What we're looking for is out in the middle, but I can't get out there as easy as I would like to, so I'm gonna have to use a stick to get out there and try to reel in what I need. Unless I go over on that side, maybe I'll find what I need over there. I don't know. Because over here, like I said, there's some weird balls over here, and I've never seen those before. I'm not used to seeing little tiny ones like that. So I don't really know what that is. I would assume it's not from, you know, a spring peeper or anything like that. I've actually never seen spring peeper eggs before. I'd like to, but I haven't. So I don't know if spring peeper eggs, I hate this stuff. I don't know if spring peeper eggs are in the water, like, you know, frog and toad eggs. Ticks all over me, I bet you. Or if they are the opposite, where they are in the ground, or, ooh, what was that? Nothing. I thought I saw a tadpole of sorts. Spiders. Right here is another one of those egg masses, but oh yeah, right here, look at. So that one did make it. So we're only going to take a few. The rest of these did not, but we'll throw them out in the middle again. So we just want to find a few because I do want to do a spotted salamander tank. Now I know what you're thinking. Why, Dave? It's just basically a hold that eats crickets in a glass box. Well, sometimes, but not always. Sometimes they come out. All right. So we're looking here again, and I'm not seeing a whole lot. Little update on my newt eggs, guys. They hatched. It's been a while, I know, but my Spanish rib newts, they have hatched, and most of them have died because they're over at the other house, and I have not been, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I have not been taking the time to check on them and feed them properly. I'm supposed to be feeding them live foods. I've been substituting with baby brine shrimp with an air stone to try to mimic that, and I think they know the difference because a lot of them died. I think I have like 2 or 3 left, but that's okay because now we know how easy it is to breed them. All we have to do is give them a cold water change, good food, and they should just do the rest for me. So let's try this one here if I can get out there. Okay, there we go. Cool. Let's see if anything is in this one. Here's one. Whoop, what's this one? Anything? Nope. See, this kind of gives you an indication. Look at, there's 2 right here. Guys, this gives you an indication. Look at that right there. They actually break apart right before they are ready to hatch, which is really cool. It's almost like, if you look at my thumb here, see how I'm just kind of like able to just separate the eggs from the mass. That's a really good thing. So what's going to happen in a perfect world, guys, there's 2 more. We'll take a couple just to make sure they actually do well for me. But what's going to happen, guys, is they're going to have these vernal pools all over the place. These guys are going to hatch, and in a few weeks they will shed their larva stage, and they will go right back in the ground to meet their adult counterparts. Okay, there's a couple here, so we're gonna just chuck those out into the deeper areas. Look at that, look how perfect they just boop, pop right off for you. Okay. And then if you see right here, our toad eggs, I believe. I'm not mistaken, I believe those are toad eggs. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, they look like toad eggs that didn't make it. But, yeah, so there's nothing pretty about it, but that's a vernal pool. In a couple weeks, everything's gonna hatch. They're gonna morph out. And then little inch and a half salamanders and, you know, little toadlets, or whatever you want to call them, will crawl out of this puddle, and they will go back into their respective habitats and continue their cycle. So as you see, I didn't take like a billion of them. I just took enough to keep them going. I might go out tonight later and try to find some Daphnia, because that's really what they want. But cool little side quest, guys. Looking for rocks. I've been looking for a few weeks now for the elusive yellow spotted salamander. Haven't found any, but I did find the next best thing, because what happens when you take a yellow spotted salamander out of its natural habitat, especially during breeding season, what happens is that one does not get to lay eggs, doesn't get to reproduce. It is basically counted as a loss. It is one less animal that's going to repopulate the population. So let's just say instead of 20, I'm just looking for rocks, 26,000 babies in 0.1 square mile of, you know, wherever the habitat is. Now there's significantly less because, well, it's not going to lay eggs in a captive environment, usually, unless you're really good. So by doing it this way, we are really giving nature a break. And, you know, we're not really taking a whole lot out of it, just a little bit. And we're going to do this for educational purposes only. And they're not going to be captive bred, but they'll be captive raised, which is like the next best thing. So that's pretty cool. Pretty excited for that. Ooh. All right. I got to go find some rocks. I'm Woods. That's wild. And I will see you guys on the next one. Happy Easter.